Johannesburg, the city of gold, Africa's economic powerhouse, home to millions, and a city built on dreams and gold. From the sky it's a man-made forest, but beneath the green lies a city of brutal contrasts. Gleaming skyscrapers in Sandton cast shadows over impoverished townships, just a stone's throw away. For every story of success, there's another of struggle. High-walled suburban homes stand beside sprawling informal settlements. More than 3 decades after apartheid, division remains Johannesburg's defining characteristic. The city's chaotic growth was engineered for extraction, not equality, and apartheid's scars are still visible. Today, Johannesburg is a microcosm of South Africa's struggles. Unemployment, housing crises, and a constant fear of crime. This story explores the city's deep-seated problems and the persistent glimmers of hope that refuse to be extinguished. Johannesburg's story begins with gold, discovered in 1886, sparking the world's richest gold rush. Almost overnight, the quiet grasslands of the Highveld were transformed by the promise of unimaginable wealth, drawing people from every corner of the world. What was once a barren stretch of land quickly became a booming city, its dusty streets teeming with fortune seekers, entrepreneurs, and laborers, all hoping to strike it rich or simply survive. But from the very start, Johannesburg was built for extraction, not inclusion. The city's foundations were laid with profit in mind, not community. The wealthy landlords erected grand mansions on the ridges, symbols of their newfound power, while black African workers were forced into overcrowded, squalid compounds, early blueprints for the townships that would later define the city's outskirts. Segregation was engineered into the city's very layout. Wealthy white suburbs were carefully buffered and separated from the laboring masses, ensuring privilege and poverty rarely touched. The city's design was a deliberate strategy of control, creating a society of extreme haves and have-nots, where opportunity and hardship were divided by invisible lines of power. These patterns, set in motion over a century ago, are still visible today, etched into the city's landscape and daily life. The province's new name, Gauteng, meaning place of gold, can't erase the legacy of how that gold was extracted, or the deep scars left behind. Rapid, unplanned urbanization created a fragmented city, sprawling in every direction, making it difficult to govern and even harder to heal the wounds of the past. The seeds of division planted in the 1880s still shape Johannesburg's bitter harvest, reminding us that the city's golden beginnings came at a heavy cost that endures to this day. If the gold rush laid the foundation for inequality, apartheid provided the blueprints. The Group Areas Act of 1950 violently re-engineered Johannesburg's social fabric. Mixed communities like Sophiatown were destroyed, residents forcibly removed to distant townships like Soweto. Soweto was designed as a labor reservoir, underdeveloped, controlled, and dehumanizing. Buffer zones and physical barriers enforced separation, making inequality easy to ignore for the privileged. Yet, Soweto became the epicenter of resistance, home to Mandela, Tutu, the Freedom Charter, and the 1976 uprising. Apartheid's architecture of control forged a spirit of defiance that helped dismantle the system. The very spaces meant to suppress became crucibles of resistance. Johannesburg's geography still bears the marks of this engineered separation. Nowhere is Johannesburg's inequality more visible than between Sandton and Alexandra, separated by a highway, worlds apart. Sandton, Africa's richest square mile, home to banks, luxury malls, and gated communities. Across the M1, Alexandra, dense, vibrant, and deeply impoverished, with families crammed into shacks. Sandton's population density is a fraction of Alex's, but the wealth gap is even wider. Many Alex residents work in Sandton, cleaning offices and tending gardens, but return to poverty each night. The daily journey across the highway is a journey between two countries, economic apartheid persisting long after the political system fell. Frustration and injustice simmer as government renewal projects stall, derailed by corruption. The wall between Sandton and Alex is built of history, economics, and broken promises. It remains Johannesburg's most potent symbol of enduring inequality. The end of apartheid brought hope, but the city's deep inequalities remained. Mandela's presidency was a triumph, but economic structures stayed intact, delaying real redistribution. Under Mbeki, corruption scandals and a disastrous HIV/AIDS response eroded trust and cost lives. AIDS-related deaths in Gauteng soared, devastating families and communities. Meanwhile, rapid urbanization overwhelmed infrastructure. Millions flocked to Johannesburg, straining housing, schools, and jobs. Informal settlements mushroomed, and competition for resources intensified. The dream of a rainbow nation faded as new crises piled atop old wounds. Xenophobic violence erupted, exposing deep social fractures. The promise of 1994 collided with the messy reality of governing a city scarred by its past. Johannesburg's challenges multiplied, defining life for a new generation. For many residents, crime is Johannesburg's most dominant and ever-present reality, shaping the way people move, live, and interact with their city. By 2024, Johannesburg ranked among the world's most dangerous cities, with violent contact crimes, kidnappings, and robberies rampant in both affluent and poor neighborhoods. Fear shapes daily life. Homes become fortresses, private security companies thrive, and trust in the police force has all but collapsed for many. The poor, unable to afford private protection, rely on hope, resilience, and community forums to keep each other safe, often forming neighborhood watches out of necessity. Inequality is starkly mirrored in safety. The wealthy buy layers of security, while the poor are left exposed, vulnerable to the city's dangers. Economic hardship is relentless. Over 50% of the population lives in poverty, 30% are unemployed, and youth unemployment hovers near 50%, fueling desperation and uncertainty. Every day, people line the streets and intersections hoping for work, an everyday scene that speaks to an economy that excludes millions and leaves families struggling to survive. The housing crisis is severe. Over 500,000 households wait for formal homes, while many are forced to live in shacks without access to water, electricity, or sanitation. Residents of informal settlements fight for dignity every day. "We just want a toilet that flushes and a light that switches on," they say as they struggle for the basics. The daily struggle for safety and survival is Johannesburg's reality, with families locking up tightly each night and commuters braving the streets at dawn. For most, the City of Gold is a city of daily battles, where hope and hardship exist side by side, and every day is a test of endurance. The dream of prosperity is overshadowed by the fight for basic dignity, as families struggle to provide for their children and keep hope alive. Yet, hope persists in the face of adversity. Communities come together, children still find reasons to smile, and the spirit of resilience endures. Johannesburg's crises are magnified by a failure of governance. Corruption took root early, diverting billions meant for public services into private pockets. State capture hollowed out institutions, from Eskom to the police, leaving them ineffective and distrusted. The police force, once respected, became politicized and demoralized, unable to protect citizens. Crumbling roads, power cuts, and water shortages are daily reminders of mismanagement. Billions allocated to renewal projects often vanish, with little to show. The housing backlog isn't just a number, it's 500,000 families without homes. Persistent failure has bred cynicism and despair, eroding faith in leaders and democracy. For many, government is seen not as a solution, but as part of the problem. Despite the decay, Johannesburg's spirit endures. Grassroots movements and community initiatives fill the void left by the state. Groups like Josie My Josie organize cleanups, paint murals, and reclaim public spaces. Private developers renovate derelict buildings, creating affordable housing in the inner city. These efforts are small but powerful statements of intent. Johannesburg's creative energy thrives in arts districts and informal markets, where necessity breeds innovation. Yet, these glimmers of hope battle overwhelming challenges: crime, corruption, and failing services. Community efforts often feel futile when municipal systems collapse. The hope for revival is a constant tug-of-war with decay. The question remains, can these scattered embers ignite real transformation? Johannesburg in 2026 is a city of contradictions, Africa's wealthiest metropolis, yet half its people live in poverty. It's a place where opportunity and hardship exist side by side, shaping daily life in ways both visible and hidden. Lush, tree-lined suburbs stand beside treeless settlements. Creative energy and ambition are stifled by the ever-present threats of crime and unemployment. The city's beauty and its struggles are never far apart. The city that once helped liberate a nation remains, paradoxically, one of the most segregated on Earth. Decades after apartheid, invisible lines still divide communities, shaping where people live, work, and dream. Apartheid's legacy and years of modern mismanagement have left deep scars, crumbling infrastructure, neglected neighborhoods, and a sense of frustration that lingers in the air. The stark contrast between the gleaming towers of Sandton and the crowded streets of Alexandra is a daily reminder of unfulfilled promises and the work still to be done. Yet, Johannesburg is more than its problems. It's a city of survivors, innovators, and activists. Its people are resilient, finding ways to create, connect, and push for change. Despite the odds, real change won't come from grand plans alone, but from the determined actions of ordinary people, neighbors helping neighbors, communities building hope from the ground up. The path forward is uncertain, requiring not just political will, but a true crackdown on corruption and a reckoning with the economic structures that keep so many trapped in poverty. Building bridges, literal and metaphorical, across divides is essential. Only by coming together can the city begin to heal and move forward. Johannesburg's story is South Africa's story, a constant struggle between a painful past and a hoped-for future, between despair and the possibility of renewal. The city is still searching for its soul, striving to live up to its name, the city of gold for all its people, not just a privileged few. The glimmer and the grit remain, side by side. Johannesburg endures, always reaching for something better, still searching for the heart that will unite it.